Inspiration. That is what I'm looking at right now, trying to find some inspiration for the shoot that I've got to do next week for Harley-Davidson. And it's proving successful-ish, but I want to do something different to what I've done before. I've done 2 shoots now in the house for footwear, and they've been different. They're for 2 different brands. They look different, but I just feel like this one needs a little bit of something more. So I'm looking for inspiration at the moment, getting some things down, trying to look for anything that would help me to change up my workflow from before. I think I'm going to take this a bit more. Everything else has kind of just been in a studio setting. I think I want to do some more kind of like outdoor shots for this one. No one in it specifically, but just close crops of the footwear still, but outside in certain areas that are relatable to the brand and the footwear itself. So I'm just looking at some stuff now. I can take you through some things that I've been looking at. I'm basically just trying to find a few frames here and there that are like, oh, that looks nice, or that might work. Something that kind of gets the creative juices flowing. A couple of things that I've got so far. This type of thing looks cool. Again, very kind of studio based again, but similar in some ways what I did to the first Harley-Davidson brief, where it was just kind of black background, close-up crops of the shoe. I like how this is lit from the from above. Then we've got this one, again, just a standalone shoe, and it's basically taking people around the shoe itself. Love that scan effect there. But yeah, all things that might give me a little bit of an idea as to things I can do differently on the next one. Again, same sort of thing here with this Puma shoe. I really need to take note of the lighting. One thing I like about this is, see how it's kind of close-ups of the shoe, the lighting goes over it, but then it cuts to like a real-world scene. This is the type of thing that I want to do. Obviously not someone dancing, something that's more relatable to the shoe that I'm shooting, but just something where I can kind of cut in and out of the shoe to like a real world environment with someone in it. I need to have a proper look through it and maybe just create a bit of a storyboard from a few of these things and then work from there. But it's going to be something I'm looking a bit more into tomorrow, because today I need to go out in about 1 hour's time. Where am I going? I'm going into London to a creative networking event. I don't know what to expect from it, and to be honest, I messaged the organizer beforehand and asked how many people were going to be in attendance, and he said about 40, and that was Friday. Today's Tuesday, so maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 maybe, if more people have signed up, but you can only talk to one person at a time anyway, so don't want it to be too overwhelming, and hopefully I'll get some business from it, who knows, but it's just networking, isn't it? And gives me a chance to hand out some of these babies finally. Okay, just got to London. The networking event is over in Liverpool Street, so just gonna grab coffee and then head over there. So apparently this is where the networking event is. And I'm 10 minutes early. I can't go in 10 minutes early, can I? I'm probably just gonna wait out here until an acceptable time to arrive.
It's about to commence. Now you've got numbers on your table.
Okay, just got out, and yeah, that was a weird one. It was like speed dating, but networking without the dating. That makes sense. Basically, everyone had 5 to 10 minutes per table, and then you had to move around and rotate and speak to new people. Good idea, really, because it forced people to talk to each other, which is great. I think networking events that I've been to in the past, you can easily get stuck talking to the same person. So, yeah, it was a good shout. There were creatives there, of course, but it was more like producers, directors, actors, actresses, things like that. So I handed some business cards out, got some business cards back. You never know who you meet. I did get invited to another networking event from someone who was there, some communications manager, in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, she was like, there's more creatives and stuff like that one as well. So I'll go to that. Definitely worth it. Happy I did it. I'll definitely be going to more of them. So if anything, it's just gaining experience of going to these things, meeting people there, like-minded individuals, and just seeing where those connections go. Good morning all. Knocked out a 10K this morning. Somehow got a PB. I'm not sure how that happened. I didn't even feel like I was running that fast, to be honest. I've been having this issue with my breathing recently, but today, yeah, I felt like I had full capacity, which is good. Anyway, got back from the networking event last night, gave you a short debrief on that afterwards. I wouldn't have said it was awfully relevant for me. It's always great to get out there, meet some people, just practice within that space, networking. There were just a lot of directors, actors, producers, but you never know. You never know who you might meet. Today, I've just got in touch with the brand HyTest, actually. You know who I did the shoot for a few weeks ago, the boot in the house. This is still going on. This brief is still going on. They messaged me on Friday, today being Wednesday. They messaged me on Friday saying they're going to have final feedback over to me by end of play. Nothing came through. So I'd already reached out to them to ask them if they'd got final feedback. The deadline for this was supposed to be the 10th. Today is the 10th. So I'm going to reach out to them again. Interesting topic, really. It'd be good to understand from you guys, what do you think is an appropriate time to leave it before I'm then chasing up again? The ball's in their court at the moment. They need to gather feedback to then send back to me. So obviously I want to still come across like I have an investment in it, but equally, what's too much chasing? So listen, I've left it a few days. I'm going to reach out to them again today, just to see where we are with it, because I'd also like to get this wrapped up. It's just kind of lingering around. Hey Rayanne, I hope you're well. Just checking in to see where we are at with the feedback for the HyTest brief. I know that from memory, you guys mentioned that today was the final deadline, being the 10th of June. So that is the email I'm just sending through to the HyTest guys. I use Whisperflow. Have you used Whisperflow to write my emails or to write anything now? It was recommended to me by a friend. You know who you are, so you don't need credit for it. Whisperflow, W-I-S-P-R. W-I-S-P-R, flow, yes. And you literally press function, talk, and it writes the email for you. Nothing special, but it saves time. So we'll see when I hear back from these guys. And let's get this wrapped up. So I'm just doing some outreach today because I'm in between projects at the moment. I don't start the Harley-Davidson brief until next week. And then I'm still waiting for feedback on the HyTest stuff, which I'll tell you more about after we've been through this. But yeah, in between jobs, I kind of just try and do some outreach. I've not done any outreach for a while. And if you're not careful, you'll get to a point where you're doing jobs, and then that work might dissipate, and then all of a sudden you've got no work. So it's always good to try and do some outreach whenever you can, I find, even if it's like an hour a day. But yeah, I've been not doing that much of it. But I just want to take you through a bit of a process that I've been trying to adhere to whenever I do outreach. And that is, I'll literally just think about a niche that I want to target. And then I might go, for example, I'll go onto Instagram. So as you can see here, you might be on Instagram. You might think, oh, I want to target sports, health and fitness, something like that. So you might want to target gyms, for example. So I'd just go on to search. I'd probably type in something just like gym. I mean, let's use Gymbox as an example. But you click onto a gym that you found on Instagram or whatever. And then what you can do is you can click on this icon here next to email. And that basically brings up accounts that are in relation to whatever you're searching. So for example, I mean, here you've got like Fresh Fitness Food, you've got PTs, you've got other gyms, especially like in London and stuff, if you're searching in London. So if you click on another gym here, so this is One London, right? And then what I'd probably do is I'd follow them for a start. And then from there, I would have a look at their content, see what type of stuff they're actually producing already. Are they producing any decent video content? If they're not, that's giving you ammunition to mention that in a message as well, giving you even more of a reason for contacting them if you like. But then I'd send a message, and usually what I'd do is I'd come up with a message that is relevant to whatever they are, whoever they are as a business. And it might just be a generic introduction to start with. Something like what I've prepared here. So, for example, you could say something like, hello, my name is Ash and I run AmixMotion, specializing in video content for brands, events, and experiences. I came across your page on Instagram and really like what you're building and love the brand. It feels like there could be a nice fit content-wise, so thought I'd introduce myself. Is video content creation something that you would be open to exploring? If so, I'd love to chat. So keeping that super simple, super generic, unless there's something on their page that you can point out. Something like maybe their lack of video content or something you think that they could be doing better. That's usually the approach that I take. Now, I'll send that message through. I'll like a few things on their page as well, just to kind of grab their attention a bit more, because not everyone sees their inbox messages on Instagram. And then what I'll do is I'll go over to a CRM that I've built here in HubSpot. Basically, you can click Add Contacts, Create New, and then type in all the details that you've found from their Instagram account. Have they got an email on there? If they have, then you can email them as well. Send an email to them, but something that's maybe a little bit more detailed than what you've sent over Instagram. You can add all the details, and then that's then added to your CRM in HubSpot, and it's documented, right? So it's documented. You can then set a reminder to follow up a few days later, and it just gives you a way to keep on top of all of your outreach without any leads going cold, hopefully. Now, when that time comes, what I'd say is reach out to these people again for a second time, a third time, whatever that might be. And for example, so if we talk about one London club like what we were looking at a moment ago, I'd go on to their videos, for example, see what type of content they've been creating in the past. Have a look at something, see what sparks your interest, see if there's anything in there that you think you could do better or execute better in any other way that's going to be valuable to them. And then I'd take a reel, for example, so let's say this one here, and then you can send that reel to them. Send that reel to them in a message, tell them your thoughts about it, give them some feedback potentially, give them a reason to reply to you, and give them a reason to potentially hire you. So what I always try and think is, okay, what value can I bring to them through video, through editing? What value can I bring that they're not already getting? Is there something that their content is currently missing? Is there something that I can add to it, like I said? But then you've also got to be able to follow up on those points that you're making. So, of course, don't just be messaging people saying, hey, yeah, I can do this, that, and the other, when really you can't do any better than what you're seeing there. If you've got valid points on how you can improve their content and give them a better outreach to their potential customers, clients, whatever, then I'd say put those points down in a message along with the reel that you found and then send it across. Because some people's content, let me be honest, is pure and utter shite. Like, it really is. But then you do come across some people's that's absolutely amazing. So it's trying to identify where you think you can make it better. Just because like some content is mind-blowing to look at doesn't mean that it's communicating exactly what needs to be communicated to their audience. So figure out who their audience is and then communicate how you feel you can better help them as a business. But yeah, you're not always going to have people come back to you. So yeah, then usually I'll just send out maybe a third message maximum. And then what I'll do is, whereas before, after I've sent, say, the first or second message, I remind myself to follow up 3 days later. Now I'll probably set a reminder to follow up 6 months' time or something like that, because things can change. Like 6 months previous, they might not have needed you. Now they might. So it's worth setting up a little reminder. But again, don't just go back in with a generic message again, hey, I'm still here, or just thought I'd follow up. Go back in with something that's going to, again, be of value. What can you offer them? How can you make their content better? How can you help them reach a customer base that they're not yet reaching? Check it out. Today, I got a delivery from Harley-Davidson. As we know, I need to do another brief for these guys. 2 boxes here, women's and men's. Need to do a shoot for these guys next week because the video is due by the end of the month. So it's going to be a quick turnaround. Already started planning, pretty much got a good idea about what I need to do. I'm going to film in this room. Previous shoots I've filmed downstairs, but I'm going to film in this room because I'm going to create a dark scene, and I can bring the blind down in here, make it darker in here, rely just on the key light and the rim light. So yeah, exciting. And then finally, the HyTest brief has been sent off for hopefully the last time. I got an email from the guys today. They sent me an email yesterday with feedback, things that they wanted to change, but they just sent me a document of text with no clarification on what actually needed to be changed. So very vague. But then they clarified, I followed up, they clarified today, and it was just 1 line of text. So I've made that change over all aspect ratios, so it's not been such a big change overall of the different sizes and crops. So yeah, hopefully that'll be wrapped up now. Sent it. Wait to hear back from them. I don't think there's going to be anything else. I need to send them some stills as well. But yeah, that'll be easy. Just rendering out some stills from the edit. But yeah, that is it for this week. Tune in next week to watch me film this Harley-Davidson boot right there. Tune in next week to watch me film that. But yeah, as usual, have a great week. Tune in next week. Watch this video that YouTube's suggesting here. You might like it. And yeah, stay safe. I'm Ash. This is AmixMotion.